ready to dive into the universe. We're talking origins, structure, the big questions. And get this, our source material comes from a QHHT session.
QHHT?
Yeah, it's a type of hypnosis. Pretty fascinating stuff. We're going to explore what someone named Clemence experienced, and she knew very little about all this beforehand.
So we're not talking scientists or astronauts here.
Nope. This is all about exploring the cosmos through someone's subconscious. Kind of wild, right?
Definitely adds a different perspective.
Oh, and just to add another layer, Clemence is in Switzerland, and the practitioner, Mariel, is in Peru.
Wow, across the globe. Okay, so just to be clear, we're not saying this is hard science.
Exactly. It's more like a journey through Clemence's unique interpretation while she was under hypnosis. Think of it as a window into a different way of seeing the universe.
I like that. A window.
So she starts by describing the universe as constantly expanding, like there's no end to it. And it's full of stars, gas clouds, and she even mentions something called magnetic frequencies, all bathed in this visual of white light and shadows. Almost poetic, wouldn't you say?
It is. And you know what's interesting is that her description kind of lines up with what science understands about the universe expanding.
Right. It makes you think about what's going on in that subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
And hold on, because she goes even further, claiming that time and distance as we know them don't exist. Things just appear and disappear instantly and travel. She says it's just a matter of thought.
Okay, now this is where things start to get really interesting, because that challenges how we think about physics. But, there are concepts in theoretical physics, things like wormholes, right? Or quantum entanglement, where information could maybe travel really fast.
Like instantly.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe she's tapping into something we haven't quite figured out yet.
It's mind-blowing when you think about it that way. And just wait, it gets even more complex. She describes the universe as having multiple dimensions, like windows or levels in a building. And she says, Earth, well, we mostly hang out in one dimension, but sometimes bump into another one.
Multiple dimensions. Now, that's something we hear about in string theory and the multiverse concept. It's pretty amazing how her subconscious is connecting to some pretty high-level science stuff.
Yeah, right. And her journey isn't just about far-off planets and aliens. She dives into some deep questions, too, like how did the universe even begin?
So she describes it as this continuous loop, like no beginning, no end. She sees this image of a snake eating its tail, all happening inside a human cell, a cell that also holds the entire universe, by the way.
Hold on, a snake, a cell, the universe, all together. That's a lot to unpack. What's the science perspective on that?
Well, we have the Big Bang theory as the main explanation, right?
Yeah.
But her vision kind of reminds me of those cyclical models of the universe.
Yeah.
Where it expands and then collapses, maybe over and over again.
But like a never-ending cycle.
Exactly. And it's a concept that's getting more attention these days.
It seems like her subconscious is mixing ancient ideas and modern science in this really fascinating way.
Totally. And as we go deeper, we'll see how she tackles intelligent life, this idea of everything being connected, and even consciousness itself. Get ready to have your mind blown.
Now, speaking of other life forms, she describes meeting this hostile lizard-like creature on a planet in Orion's belt. What do you make of that?
It is interesting that it's perceived as hostile, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just a primal fear kind of thing, or maybe it's more symbolic, especially since she puts it in Orion's belt, a place that's always had this mysterious vibe.
Orion's belt has always fascinated people. Think about the pyramids and all those ancient stories. What do you think makes it so compelling for her and for us in general?
That's a good question to ponder as we keep going. It really says something about the power of symbols and how our subconscious minds work. But Clemence's journey, well, it doesn't stop there. Next, she meets a female architect named Christina. And get this, she's traveling the universe with her etheric body, while her physical body's back on Earth. Apparently, she's getting inspiration and information for her work.
Sounds like a pretty amazing brainstorming session. Maybe this reflects Clemence's own creative process somehow.
Could be. I mean, architecture is all about understanding and shaping space. So maybe this interdimensional travel represents tapping into some kind of ultimate creative source.
A cosmic blueprint. I like that. But wait, there's a twist. She comes across this concept called the Intergalactic Confederation, but refuses to connect with it. Says it feels fake. What do you think that means?
That's fascinating. Even under hypnosis, there's this part of her that's still discerning, Like she can tell what's authentic and what's not.
It's like she's saying, I see right through you, which really makes you think about truth and perception, even in an altered state. But get ready for another wild encounter. This one blew my mind.
Are you talking about Tariq, the Native American man from 900 AD?
Yes, she says he has pure human DNA, implying that modern DNA isn't as pure. And here's the kicker, he won't answer her questions about the universe. He says real understanding comes from within.
Wow. That's a powerful message. It's like those spiritual traditions that emphasize looking inward for knowledge.
It's such a contrast to those other beings who are more open to sharing, but his silence really speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It does. It challenges us to look inside ourselves for answers instead of always seeking them from outside sources.
Before we finish this part of our deep dive, there's one more thing we got to talk about, the veil. She encounters this veil of voices and ideas coming from everywhere and nowhere, like she's tapped into the collective thoughts of everyone.
That reminds me of Carl Jung's idea of the collective unconscious, a shared pool of thoughts and experiences. It's also kind of like that concept of the noosphere, where human thought creates a sort of sphere around the planet.
We've covered so much already. Expanding universes, time and space not existing, multiple dimensions, a universe that's like a snake eating its tail, meeting strange beings, pure DNA, and now this veil of collective thought.
And that's just the beginning. In part 2, we'll dive into even more mind-bending stuff like, is the universe conscious? And can a cell be a portal to other dimensions? Get ready for a wild ride.
Back again for more of Clemence's hypnotic journey. Last time, we ended with that veil of thoughts, hinting at this crazy connection between everything.
It really makes you question what being an individual even means.
Right.
And from there, she goes even deeper. She starts wondering if the universe itself is conscious. At first she says no, but then she's like, wait, actually, yes, it's conscious because we are. Like our combined consciousness is what makes the universe conscious.
So it's not like there's some giant cosmic brain controlling everything.
No, not at all.
It's more like each of us, every living thing, adds to this kind of universal awareness.
Exactly. And that kind of connects to an idea called panpsychism. It says that consciousness isn't just in humans or animals, but it's everywhere, like a fundamental part of the universe.
Wow. So if consciousness is like woven into everything, then what does that mean for our actions? Do they affect the universe?
Now, that's a big question. And it's wild that Clemence hits on this while she's exploring her own consciousness under hypnosis.
Yeah.
It's like she's peeling back the layers of reality.
Okay, I get this. Her journey takes her inside her own body, right into a cell in her arm. And she describes it as this mini-universe, a portal to other dimensions and life forms.
It's almost like she's saying the universe is inside us, literally. That image is so powerful. It makes me think of things like fractal geometry, where you see the same patterns in different sizes, or the holographic principle, where a tiny part contains info about the whole thing. Maybe looking inward, even down to our cells, can help us understand the cosmos better.
So instead of building bigger telescopes, we should be looking inside ourselves.
It's an interesting thought, right?
Yeah.
Turning the exploration inward. Clemence's journey definitely takes us there. She talks about encountering billions of intelligent life forms, and they're always increasing, and she sees them interacting on this energy level, like bypassing physical limitations.
It's like a form of communication we don't even understand yet. And, it kind of challenges the Fermi paradox, the whole idea of why haven't we met aliens yet?
Totally. Maybe we're just looking for the wrong signs. Or we haven't figured out how they communicate. And this ties back to that universal energy that Clemence keeps talking about, the one that connects everything. She sees it as a spider web, with the universe starting from the center.
That's a beautiful image. It shows how everything's connected, not just on Earth, but everywhere.
It does. And this idea of a unifying force, like a cosmic web, shows up in lots of spiritual traditions and philosophies. It's like, we're not just little beings on a tiny planet. We're all part of this huge, amazing tapestry.
Yeah, we're threads in the tapestry, and that makes us feel less insignificant, part of something bigger.
Exactly. Clemence's experience emphasizes that connection. And as we go forward, her journey leads to even more mind-blowing encounters and insights.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Clemence's hypnotic journey. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
It really has. We've gone from the universe expanding to the idea that consciousness is everywhere. Clemence's experience has definitely made us rethink our place in all of this.
Yeah, it's been mind-blowing. And amidst all these crazy ideas, I keep coming back to this theme of expansion. Not just the universe getting bigger, but also like knowledge expanding, possibilities expanding, connections expanding.
You're right, that's a thread that runs through her whole journey. Remember how she talked about encountering this knowledge that's always expanding? It's like the universe is this unlimited source of learning and growth, always pushing outwards, creating new life, new ways of being.
Oh, yeah. And that reminds me of that spider web she saw, with everything spreading out from the center. It shows how everything's connected, but it also shows how dynamic it all is. Like the universe is constantly changing and evolving.
It is. It's not this static thing, It's a system where everything's in flux, always moving, always expanding, like a cosmic dance.
The cosmic dance, I love that. It makes you wonder, what's our role in this dance? Are we just watching, or are we actually shaping the universe with our thoughts and actions?
That's a question Clemence seems to be wrestling with, too. Remember, she talked about being aware of our own consciousness, understanding that we're part of this interconnected web. It's like she's saying that when we expand our own awareness, we help the universe expand.
Whoa, so we're not just observers, we're co-creators.
It's a powerful idea. It connects to the concept of co-creation, where our consciousness helps shape the reality we experience. It's not about control, but about understanding that we're all linked and part of something way bigger than ourselves.
Like pieces of a puzzle. Each one unique, but important for the whole picture.
Perfect analogy. It shows the balance between being an individual and being connected to everything else. Both are key to understanding our place in this cosmic dance.
There's one more thing I want to touch on. Remember how Clemence first said the universe wasn't conscious, but then she changed her mind? She said it is conscious because W-E-R.
Yeah, that was a big moment in her journey. She realized that consciousness isn't separate from the universe, it's a part of it. Something that comes from the interactions of everything in it.
So consciousness isn't just about having a brain. It could be everywhere, in everything.
It's a really interesting idea. It goes along with that panpsychism concept, where consciousness is a fundamental part of reality.
So where do we go from here? What can we learn from Clemence's experience? We don't have to believe it literally, but we can use it to inspire us, to explore the universe within us and outside of us.
Exactly. It's about asking questions, being open to the mysteries of existence. Clemence's experience shows us that the universe is vast and full of possibilities that we're just starting to understand.
It encourages us to explore our own consciousness, to look inside and see the connections that link us to everything else. It's a journey that needs curiosity, courage, and a willingness to face the unknown.
Her experience, even though it's subjective and through hypnosis, gives us a glimpse of a reality that's more interconnected, more dynamic, and more conscious than we might have imagined.
It reminds us that we're all part of something truly amazing, connected by consciousness, energy, and endless possibilities. As we wrap up this deep dive, we encourage you to keep exploring. Look up at the stars, think about the mysteries of the universe, and journey into your own being.
Who knows what you might find? Maybe, just maybe, as we each become more aware, we help unlock the secrets of the universe.
Keep exploring, everyone.